Welcome back to part two of episode one, where we'll be diving right back into 2026 Topps Flagship Series 1, where we're going to be discussing inserts, parallels, and what we expect to see in this release. DJ, do you got yourself a new drink
I,
for the second episode here?
yeah, does a bear shit in the woods and wipe his ass with a rabbit bud?
Yeah.
I've
What
got
you got?
myself a nice little Hua Craft White Ale from Japan. I have a friend who gave me some of this when I was out in LA. She works at a sake shop out there, and they have a lot of Japanese beer, and I love my craft beer. So I'm going to be intrigued to see how this goes down.
All right, very good. I'm keeping it domestic, keeping it here on the continent. Got a Miller Lite, got the tall boy. It's
Yeah, that
11
a boy.
o'clock here too, so
Yeah.
it's getting kind of late here in New York, but here we go. So here's to the episode. Cheers.
Cheers, brother. I'm not gonna lie, that tastes like pure gasoline.
So what inserts do you expect to see in this new flagship release in the 26th flagship
Uh,
release?
Well, I feel like we're going to have a lot of carryover from 2025 as they have done in previous years from like 2023 to 24, 24 to 25, so on and so forth. So I feel like we're going to see some of the standard inserts that we did get to see with the different parallels and serial numbers going in accordingly with that, the fives, the tens, the 15, the 25, so on and so forth. I think you'll see training grounds. I think you'll see call to the hall. I think you'll see greatest hits. You'll also, I hope, a set that I really enjoyed out of the 2025 was the 2024 All Tops team.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's just 12 players that made the All Tops team. And so maybe they'll do another version of that this year and just continue that subset, insert set, which would be really cool. I
that
thought it
would
would
be
be
cool.
really
Yeah.
cool if they started doing like a rookie series of that, like the all tops team rookies only type deal.
Yeah. Yep.
That would be really cool to see with guys like, like Roman Anthony and Jacob Wilson and, all those guys who are up and coming guys and studs. We're going to see definitely your favorite subset of all time, first pitch.
I
Uh,
can't. I can't. I God, I can't
who
stand
do you
that
think is going to
insert.
be in first pitch? Who's going to be who? Do you remember
God,
anybody who threw out the first pitch from last year that was
no,
like a celebrity or something?
no. I mean, I remember the checklist from last year. It had like
Andy Reid.
Jason Kelsey was on there. Reed was 24, I believe.
Okay.
I actually have the checklist up
Wasn't
right here.
Quavo on there?
I think that was 2 years ago. Yeah.
I'm just dating myself now at this point.
Yeah. What's going on there? So the first pitches, where are they? I think they should be right around here.
While you're looking for that, I think that you're going to see stars of MLB. I'm actually intrigued by that because that design has gotten better over the years. Um, who'd you find?
Yeah. So well, I got the first pitch checklist from last year. We had Jason Kelsey, Murakami for the Giants, Juju Watkins for the Dodgers, Coach Al for the Yankees. Jason Tatum for the Cardinals, Carl Radke for the Pirates, Chipper Jones for the Braves, Beltre for the Rangers, Lauren Elena for the Chicago Cubs, and CJ Stroud for the Houston Astros. But again, it's not one of my favorite insert sets. Like I understand the crossover, getting in the pop culture and Coach Al with the Yankees, he's a social media influencer. Um,
It's a little
but it
gimmicky.
just I just don't like it. Yeah, it's the same thing with like the stars of MLB. I do agree with you though that the design did get better. So the stars of MLB, for those of you that don't know, those come in all retail formats. You can't find those in hobby. So if you order a hobby box or a hobby jumbo, it does not come with the stars of MLB. That's in all of your retail stuff. So again, the stuff that you're buying at Walmart, stuff that you're buying at Target or whatever, wherever you're picking packs up from, brick and mortar, you're going to get those stars of MLB cards in there. But
Yeah.
they did look pretty good last year in a
Yeah, then
25
design
set. And
improved.
interestingly enough, too, they started a parallel this year as well. And I don't know if it started with Series 2 or if it started with Update, but the normal, they have like the numbered cards, which are ridiculously hard to hit. The Stars of MLB cards that are numbered are super, super hard to hit, but you would think that they'd be a little bit easier because they're so prevalent in the retail product. But they started to do, it was either a a magenta, maybe, or a pink or a purple or something like that. Like a base, and it would make sense that it would be pink because they started to do a pink parallel
Yeah.
um in last year's set too. So it's probably a pink parallel. I don't know when that started, however. I don't know if it started with Series 2 or with Update. I don't remember seeing those through Series 1, but regardless, what else? What other inserts are you looking forward to?
Yeah,
What are you hoping to see? Something that's brand new.
yeah. So I had said the rookie class thing would be really cool for like an
Right.
all tops team. That's cool. The other things that were in there were like Stars of Japan and stuff like that. And I'm really
In
kind of
the
hoping,
Japanese release, right?
yeah, and I'm really hoping that we can kind of get some sort of 91 throwback of some sort. I know that they're doing the 1952 stuff. They're putting those inserts back in because it's year one of Topps now celebrating 75 years, which to me, I'm just like, how many more Mickey Mantles are we going to see that
Right.
are reprints that are getting thrown in? It's I understand the nostalgia factor of that, but also
Yeah,
at the
for
same
sure.
time, I feel like you can confuse hobbyists. People are like collecting cards and they think they have something that is an older card, but it's not. And
Right.
it's the same way, which it's like error cards. We've talked about this before. Error cards, how do they exist in today's world?
They don't. The modern era does not exist. You can go on the Topps website and it says right there, there's a little disclaimer when you're ordering boxes that Topps is not responsible for any error cards. Like the modern error just does not exist. I'm sorry. It doesn't. We're never
I
going to
think you
get
need to get
the
angrier.
no-name Frank Thomas rookie, which is also something that I want to talk about too. Let's park on that for a second. So the last couple of years, Topps has featured uh, an older player, I want to say. So in the 24, they had the celebration of the kid, the Ken Griffey Jr.
Yep.
And then last year it was no name parallels to go with the actual error card of Frank Thomas, his 1990 rookie card. When it was first released, it didn't have his name on it, didn't have Frank Thomas on it. It's the one where he's on. I don't know what base he's on. I don't know if it was first base or
First
second
base.
base.
First
Was it
base.
first base? Okay. I know he plays first base, obviously, but I didn't know if that was like a prospect picture or something like that. I couldn't remember. But they kind of went with these, celebration of the kids. So they did those Ken Griffey Jr. inserts, and they did Frank Thomas was kind of that theme. So they did the no name parallel that was numbered out of 35. So this year, I'm wondering, and I know that you had said that it's one of your favorite cards, was the 1991 Chipper Jones. Um, Rookie card in that, which is kind of, in my opinion, the most iconic card that came out of the 91 series. He's not even in a
100%.
Braves uniform. He's still in his prospect uniform. So I'm wondering if we're going to see that theme or that trend keep up in the 26 and maybe they go with the Chipper Jones parallel or maybe they call it back to 1952 to the 52 mantle and maybe we see some cards that kind of parallel that. But also, while I'm thinking about it too, 91 originally had the Desert Storm Shield cards. I'm
Correct.
wondering if we're going to see maybe a little throwback to that as well.
Yeah, maybe like either a throwback or something more recent. Maybe we'll get a touchy subject 9/11 type thing. Maybe we'll get, the war in Afghanistan. Maybe we'll get a snap zoom on TJ's face when he takes a sip of a beer. That's pretty cool. I actually, for one of the things that I would like to see, which is very interesting, that I think is if we're doing an anniversary set, we should be celebrating and highlighting, obviously, the sport. And you talked about the celebration of the kid, you talked about the Frank Thomas inserts. It'd be really cool to see a Iron Man like Cal Ripken Jr. 1991. He
Okay.
won the MVP from the AL. You know what I mean? So it would be a really cool homage to like get an Iron Man set
Hmm.
in there, and for all those that don't know what the Iron Man is, 2131, that's the amount of games Cal Ripken Jr. played in a row. Uh, I hope I'm not off on that number, but he surpassed Lou Gehrig as the most consecutive games in a row ever. So he holds the record for playing the most games consecutively. So an Iron Man set would be kind of cool to me because it would kind of shed a little bit of light on players that are from that heyday that people who are collecting today aren't as familiar with or aren't
Right.
aware of, especially because the 90s, we're talking about the junk wax era, right? When everybody was collecting and you were just tossing cards out if you didn't have anything that was worth it because it just didn't matter because the print run was so crazy, which print runs have gotten ridiculously out of control now as of the recent years we've been seeing it, and we're talking millions upon millions, like 525 million, I think, is the print run,
Is well,
roughly.
that's so that's the total for all the cards, all the base cards.
Correct.
But what we're definitely seeing the print run increase on flagship for sure. If I remember back, the 23 print run was 850K to a million. The 24 print run was between a million and 1.1 million, and then the
Yep.
25 print run started to look like it was about to eclipse 1.2 million. And again, Topps doesn't release the print runs, so we don't have exact print runs. We just have what people have worked out and websites have worked out as far as um, the numbers of boxes that were released, the numbers of packs that were released, and people take that from the pack odds. But we're definitely seeing an increase. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Um, in the actual like base card 350 base card series, that print run is definitely climbing every single year, and I would assume that with the 75th anniversary coming up, that print run is they're going to want to make this product accessible and have it everywhere. So it's always in your face. Like you're going to know the players that are on the box. It's Ken Griffey Jr., it's Hank Aaron, it's Aaron Judge, and it's Shohei Ohtani. Four of arguably the biggest names from past and present right now. So people are going to see those. They're going to go, oh, hey, Ken Griffey Jr. Oh, hey, Hank Aaron. Oh my God, it's Shohei. It's Judge.
Yeah.
Like, well, I want to pick this up. So I would assume that the print run is probably going to eclipse 1.2 million, maybe even upward in that 1.4 to 1.5 range. I could see happening this year
Yeah.
with the 75th anniversary as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking 350, the set's 350 cards, you're talking a million per player, right? Like
Right,
just off that, you're talking 350 million cards for base out there already,
right,
which is
exactly.
a mind-blowing and mind-boggling number. And then you got to figure, okay, here's a prime example. What I'm going to actually showcase here is 2025 set from last year, uh, just to give the viewers kind of an idea of what we're talking about in terms of inserts. It's really hard to predict any of this stuff or
Right,
even know because we're not on the inside. I don't work for Topps. You don't work for Topps. We don't know. But what I have noticed is that uh, print runs are out of control and insert sets are out of control. And right here is a prime example. This is a great website for those who are trying to get information or knowledge about baseball cards. It's called baseballcardpedia.com. Uh, you can go there and you can basically just type in any set, whether it be 2025 Topps, Allen and Ginter, Stadium Club, doesn't matter. And you can kind of look up and see what the inserts are, what the print runs are. It's almost like a Wikipedia. So I think it's just getting filled out as it kind of comes to
right. As you
fruition
get
or
the
that
information.
information is released. So it might not have all the details, but it'll at least give you a general overview. There's some of their stuff, they have pictures in here, and some of them have like, all the names and information about like what subsets and insert sets and parallels that they run with and everything like that, and what boxes you can get them in. So like this, for instance, right here, this is 2025. And you can see it says base here, 350 total cards. But from that point down, you're now talking about inserts and or parallel cards. And this alone is series one. And I'm just scrolling very gingerly, which just goes to show you how much of this stuff is getting printed product wise, which is astronomical. This is now series two, which obviously come out later in the year for 2026, but this is still part of the flagship product. And again, you're seeing all of this information here. This is all what is inserted in these boxes. And it kind of is mind blowing to me that we're seeing such a saturation right now in the
Right,
market, and it's almost making collectors like it's individualizing collectors. Not only are we seeing prices that are pricing out people who want to be in the hobby, but now you're going to see, well, what are people actually collecting? What do people want? What inserts are people going after? What's going to be popular 10 years from now? What's not going to be popular? And it's hard to tell with so much product out there. It's like, where do you even start to begin what you want to take in for your own
right.
PC or your own sort of kind of showcasing collection or whatever. And I always say collect what you like, said it in part one of episode one. Collect what you like what you collect. Don't buy the grade, buy the card. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, you're the person who has to live with this collection. You're spending your good hard-earned money on it. Take home what you want to take home. It's all subjective. You should enjoy it regardless. Find something you like. Find something that's unique. Find something that's different. I wish that Topps would do something where it was like, again, pulled user feedback where they were like, what do you guys want to see? And that's why I said the Cal Ripken thing would be really cool. An Iron Man insert would be super cool. You could even probably talk with Marvel and have a crossover. You
Well,
know,
they actually did a crossover in the Chrome update that just came out in late October, early November, if I remember correctly, where they did
great band.
these alter ego cards, and they're really awesome. So it was a very small checklist, but you had like Ozzie Smith on there, the Wizard, and they had their nicknames on there. They had Aaron Judge. It said All Rise. They had Jason Dominguez, the Martian. So those were really cool, and that was like a cool comic book set.
Yeah.
Um, across, I mean, Topps has the license for Marvel now, so I don't think we're very far off from seeing that crossover happen. You know, because then you get that kind of like pop culture, especially with 2026. Avengers Doomsday is coming out. So I could definitely see a crossover happening of some type of Marvel insert. And those alter ego cards that came out in Chrome were are still very, very popular at this
Yeah.
point right now. So I could definitely see a crossover happening um between the two, without a doubt.
Yeah, which would be cool, especially to like acknowledge certain players from that time period. And I feel like that's where Topps is kind of losing a little bit in the hobby, from a personal standpoint. They're not really exposing today's collectors from the last few years to that era. And now, yes, we are getting a 75th anniversary. So, duh, DJ, what the hell are you even talking about? It's homage to 91. It's homage to 52. Yeah, but like nobody's talking about, like these insert cards for certain players like that we could see that would be really cool and really unique and kind of get people in today's realm of your Paul Skeens, your Nick Kurtz, those guys to kind of who are collecting those guys to look back and go, oh wow, who was the dominant guy in 1992? Look at like a Vladimir Guerrero, not a Vladimir Guerrero Jr., but for everybody else who doesn't know, Vladimir Guerrero was his dad, and he was an absolute stud. He was probably the best junk ball hitter of all time. I mean, the guy hit a home run off a ball that bounced before the plate. Like, I just like insane stuff. And I really think that Topps could kind of step up their game a little bit if they offered a little less of a variety of inserts and a little more focus on the players of the game that forged it for the players of the game that are in it now.
Right.
That would be really unique and really cool for me to see. We also, the other thing that there's a Disney crossover with like I saw Daffy Duck in a
Yeah.
White
So
Sox uniform and
in
all this stuff, and that's really drawing in people who enjoy Disney. So Topps has the ability to expand their portfolio on so many levels. It's just, I feel like sometimes because the machine is printing as much as it's printing, they miss the mark and they just do what they know is going to make everybody buy it or get everybody
Right.
to buy it.
So what
Um,
insert are you what insert out of the flagship set out of series one are you looking forward to most? Because we got some staples coming back. I would assume that we're going to see heavy lumber again. I would
yep.
assume that we're going. Well, we went over the check. We went over the information that was released before. They said they were releasing all aces again. They said that they were releasing heavy lumber again, home field advantage. So what are you looking forward to that's going to be coming back this year?
I think what's actually really cool, which is that I'm looking forward to, TJ, is that they're doing City Connect swatches.
Okay.
And losing out on a relic sucks in the jumbo box, which maybe makes these kind of City Connect swatches a little more rare. Um, I think those are going to be really interesting. I'm because some of those City Connect jerseys are really cool. Some of them are terrible. I hate the Boston one, and it's not because I'm a Yankees fan. It's because it just I get it. It's a like it's the Boston Marathon thing,
Yeah,
or
the yellow
right,
and the blue.
the yellow and the blue. I understand it, but just from a standpoint, can we really just say those uniforms are duty? Like they
They
just
need to
are,
do the green ones. If Boston's going to do a City Connect, like I think
yeah.
the green jerseys,
Give me something
um,
green. Call them the Green Monsters. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
what are we doing here? 101 marketing. Come on. It'll be cool to see the mascots come back. I think that'll be fun. Those are always kind of fun little cards that, are really kind of a unique collection that somebody can build. And they're also really good for kids too, because it
right.
really kind of makes them feel like they're part of it. Um, I'm curious about the one of one in the name relics. That's going to be released for 2026, and I'm not familiar with that subset. I don't know if it's a new subset. I don't know much about it, so I'm looking forward to finding out information about that.
In the
Um,
name, if I remember correctly, is the actual like it's a one of one card, and it's just got one of the letters from their last name on the back of the jersey, and
oh, okay, yeah, yeah,
and
that's right, that's right, that's right. Those are always cool because it's so sick to see people on Reddit who like post something and they're like, "Hey, by the way, it took me 7 years and I was able to spell out
yeah,
Jared Saltalamacchia's last name."
yeah.
Like, um,
7 years
the
is generous too to spell that.
yeah, right. The other things that I like for me, stuff that I don't know if it came out series one or if it came out series an update, but like I don't care for the big head gimmicks. That was
Oh
a
yeah, no, that so that came out in the celebration boxes.
okay, that
That
was
was
a
a pair.
score. If I remember correctly, it was Score who did that back in the
Yeah,
90s.
yep, yep.
And for those who don't know, Score was a big uh what am I looking for? A card distributor in the 90s. You had
Producer, yeah.
companies, yeah, producer. You had Fleer and you had Score and you had Pinnacle and you had Upper Deck and you had Topps. Yeah, you actually had competition. Topps doesn't have competition now, so it makes it a little easier for them to kind of just do what they want and not
Control
really
the
give a shit,
market.
it seems. Uh there's a bunch of stuff that like I said, that is going to carry over, and we're really looking forward to that. I'm intrigued to see what the new stuff is going to be. I really liked from Update the Night Terrors set.
Yeah.
I think those are so cool. They reminded me almost of like the EX 2000s from the 90s.
Okay. The
Uh,
SP, right?
no, not SP. No, the EX 2000s were like I'm drawing a blank on what actually the information is on that, but it was almost like a cutout of a player, like say I
Oh,
have a
okay. I
bat
see.
or like throwing a
Yep.
ball or something like that, and almost had like a clear acetate background to it with a border. Really nice. The Night Terrors give me that same feel. It's not that clear, acetate behind them, the player, but it's cool because it's like Topps Update what came was usually comes out around Octoberish, right? And it came out in
Right.
November this year.
Came out November this year. Yep.
Why I like it is because it's just like a Halloween kind of subset
Yeah.
almost, and it's really cool. I've been collecting the ones that are the orange parallels because the natural gradient on the card, it's black on top and then it blends down to white, but there's like a
Hmm.
little bit of orange in between on the border. And so like I've been collecting the orange ones that are numbered to 25 because it's like a natural progression of it. And it also just looks like a full nice card, like a black to orange, and
Right.
it fits the Night Terror Halloween pumpkin-y theme. Uh, I'm always intrigued to see what Topps drops with the flagship. I'm just more often than not, I don't really kind of go that direction. I'll find an insert in there that I really like. The Call to the Hall ones, like I said, are cool. The All Tops team are cool. The Night Terrors came out and update; those are cool. But generally speaking, I really let flagship sit for me. And as we discussed earlier, looking at the designs this year in itself, it makes it a little disappointing for me to kind of go forth and pick up some of that stuff because I'm kind of I'm not really turned on by it.
Hmm.
What
Yeah.
about
So
you? Where are you going for this? I know you're a big flagship guy. I know like that's one of the things that you look forward to in terms of releases, especially the last 2 or 3 years. You've been really, you know, focused on that. So what are you looking for and what would you like to see?
so I'm not really sure. I mean, I feel like I feel like once I settled on last year collecting the entire HFA or home field advantage collection, I got away from buying um boxes and like looking for stuff and trying to pull HFAs and stuff like that. And I kind of went the singles route with it. I don't know if I'm going to do the 26 HFA. I say that right now, but once they come out and once we see them, and I'm sure we'll probably see them within the next 2 weeks. Um, I'll make that decision then. I was never really a terribly huge fan of the HFAs, the 23 series, the 24 series. But for some reason, I don't know why, but the 25 series just kind of blew me away. I love the look of it. It looked significantly cleaner than previous years, and I ended up pulling two of the bigger chase cards in it, which was Bobby Witt Jr. and Mike Trout. And as soon as I had both of those. I had pulled Trout from a hobby box and I was going to sell it. And for whatever reason, I sat on it for a few weeks before I decided that I was going to sell it or trade it. And then for my birthday, I ended up my wife and kids ended up getting me a couple of hanger boxes. And I ended up pulling the Bobby Witt Jr. So now I'm sitting here
Yeah.
staring at Trout and Witt, and I'm like, is this something that I should try and go for? So I ended up going for it. So depending on what the HFA looks like, I think I might chase that 26 set again. I'm not really sure, but I think that if I had to put my finger down on an insert that I'm really looking forward to, it would definitely be the HFA set. I'd love to pull a heavy lumber at some point in my life. I've never held a heavy lumber. I think there's some of the cooler cards that
There's
are
a
in the
joke in
flagship
there.
series. Yeah. They do the heavy lumbar autos now, which are really cool. So I think that might be a fun chase. It's not a set that I would necessarily want to build. They're very expensive cards. They're terribly hard to hit, which is what makes them so expensive and so rare. But I don't know. It's really going to depend on what everything looks like and what appeals to like what the eye appeal is for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
I
I
think
know that.
also, sorry, if I may,
Yeah, go ahead.
uh, I think also actually a really cool subset. They're the 101s, but again, the first cards.
Oh yeah, the first
So
off
with
the
the
line cards or
stamps,
something like
I
that.
would
Yep.
really hope that the first card designs, maybe they up those a bit because this is a 75th anniversary and we're already putting that stamp on it. And they're not just like that little first card logo in the bottom corner or whatever.
Right.
Hopefully it's got a little more to it. I feel like that would also be something that I would look into and getting. But
Like a
again,
little
those are
bit more
those
eye appeal to it.
yeah, and those are hard to come across and hard to find because they're
Right.
one of ones, and like that's like getting an MLB debut patch type card.
Right.
Um, I did want to throw something else out there, and I think this is something that we might start doing on the podcast. I like the idea uh, of giving you guys a little bit of like a today in baseball history or like a fun fact, whether it's hobby related or whether it's just baseball related. And I think it'd be a really cool thing for, like somebody to hear about a fun fact or something like that and go, holy shit, I never knew that. Or like, or something to the effect of like, oh, that's really interesting. I'm going to do more research on that. Because that's what a lot of this is. It's a lot of us wanting to just do research on this stuff because we enjoy it so much.
Right.
So today's fun fact is Steve Carlton, winner of 329 games, won 4 Cy Young Awards. And today, he was elected to the Hall of Fame. Not today in 2026, but when he was elected in the Hall of Fame on January 12th. Uh, the fun fact about that is there are only two other pitchers that have won 4 or more Cy Young Awards. And Greg Maddux is one of them, which he did 4 consecutively from 92 to 96.
Wow.
And then Randy Johnson is the other one who did 4 consecutively also from 99 to 2002. But Randy Johnson has 5 Cy Youngs, not four. Carlton did it over his 4 Cy Youngs. He did over a spattering of years like 72, 77, 80, 82. But yeah, fun fact.
Very cool. A very cool addition to the podcast here. We are actually going to wrap it up here. We will do another flagship podcast once we get closer to the release date or even on release date when we have more information and when we have more looks at different inserts that are coming out. So we'll have a little bit more to discuss. But for now, we are going to sign off. Thank you guys so much for checking out the second part of the first episode here. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can reach out to either one of us at citylightssc42 at gmail.com. So again, you can reach out at citylights, it's CITYLIGHTS SC42 at gmail.com. You can
Yeah.
also check us out on Instagram. DJ, you got the Instagram handle. Why don't you give it to everybody?
Oh, it's City Light Sports Cards, what the podcast is named, and that's the Instagram handle. It's public Instagram. So if you have questions or want to tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, things you want to hear more about, things you want to hear less about, please let us know. We really want all the feedback that we could possibly get to make this experience not only more enjoyable for both of us, but more enjoyable for all of you who are taking the time out of your day to listen to us yap about stuff. Like I said, as the hobby continues to grow and as this podcast continues to grow, we're just the couple dudes who like collecting cards and talking about it. So please hit us with any information. And more importantly, thank you for sticking around. Oh,
Yeah,
my
that's it.
timer just went off. Wow, look at that.
That's really good. Yeah, so leave us a comment on the YouTube video here if you have any questions or if you want to reach out. You can send me DMs through the Instagram. You can reach out again through email, and we'll answer questions live here on the podcast. We'll do like an end of segment show where we just answer questions. If you have questions about parallels, checklists, anything really, let us know, and we'll get you an answer here on the podcast.
Slide into those DMs.
Yeah, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks for checking us out, everybody.